was fun, wasn't it? Our gospel reading is pretty long this morning. I apologize for not having a copy for you. And we're not going to put it up on the screen either, so simply sit back and listen to the story. You know it. But simply enjoy this story. It's from Matthew's Gospel, the 27th chapter, verses 11 through 54. Matthew writes, "Now Jesus stood before the governor. And the governor asked him, 'Are you the king of the Jews?' Jesus said, 'You say so.' But when he was accursed by the chief priests and elders, Jesus did not answer. Then Pilate said to him, 'Do you hear how many accusations they make against you?' But he gave him no answer, not even to a single charge, so that the governor was greatly amazed. Now at the festival, the governor was accustomed to release a prisoner for the crowd, anyone they wanted. At that time, they had a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. So after they had gathered, Pilate said to them, 'Whom do you want me to release for you, Barabbas or Jesus, who was called the Messiah?' For he realized that it was out of jealousy that they had handed him over. While he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent word to him, 'Have nothing to do with that innocent man, for today I have suffered a great deal because of a dream about him.' Now the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus killed. The governor said to them, 'Which of the two of you do you want me to release for you?' And they said, 'Barabbas.' Pilate said to them, 'Then what should I do with Jesus, who is called the Messiah?' All of them said, 'Let him be crucified.' Then he asked, 'Why? What evil has he done?' But they shouted all the more, 'Let him be crucified!' So when Pilate saw that he could do nothing, but rather that a riot was beginning, he took some water and washed his hands before the crowd, saying, 'I am innocent of this man's blood. See to it yourselves.' And the people as a whole answered, 'His blood be on us and on our children.' So he released Barabbas for them. And after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. And after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on his head. They put a reed in his right hand and knelt before him, mocking him, saying, 'Hail, King of the Jews!' They spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. After mocking him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. As they went out, they came upon a man from Cyrene named Simon. They compelled this man to carry his cross. And when they came to the place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull, they offered him wine to drink mixed with gall. But when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided his clothes among themselves by casting lots. And they sat down there and watched over him. Over his head they put the charge against him, which reads, 'This is Jesus, the King of the Jews.' Then two bandits were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads and saying, 'You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross.' And the the same way the chief priests also, along with the scribes and elders, were mocking him, saying, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down from the cross now, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now, if he wants to. For he said, 'I am God's son.'" The bandits who were crucified with him also taunted him in the same way. From noon on, darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. And about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, "This man is calling for Elijah." At once, one of them ran and got a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink. But the other said, "Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him." Then Jesus cried again with a loud voice and breathed his last. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook and the rocks were split. The tombs were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. After his resurrection, they came out of the tombs and entered the holy city and appeared to many. Now when the centurion and those with him, who were keeping watch over Jesus, saw the earthquake and what took place, they were terrified and said, "Truly this man was God's son." Here ends our reading for this morning. As you can see, we have some props up here this morning. So I want to let you know I invited some biblical characters to join us for worship this morning. I invited Judas to be here, along with a religious Pharisee. And then Peter's going to show up. And then Thomas. And then the centurion. And then a witness who was there that day. In between each character, we're going to invite you to remain seated and sing a verse from the hymn, "Were You There?" The words will appear on the screen. Now, I just want to let you know that the costumes for today were from Miller & Miller Incorporated. Especially the centurion's costume, for whom my son Simon is given credit. Just simply think duct tape. Enjoy. I don't know what happened. It just happened. Things changed. He became so popular. People loved him. They loved us, his disciples. I thought it was time. It was time to start the revolution he had I was looking for the right moment to push him, where his power and his might could be shown, and he could grab the glory and the victory for the world to see. But it didn't go that way. I thought I was doing him a favor. I knew he would be in the Garden of Gethsemane, so I went there. Betrayed me with a kiss. Betrayed. And they put him on the cross. They crucified him. I was there. Lord, have mercy.
Join Matt in singing this verse.
Sometimes it causes me to tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Jesus, good riddance. I'm glad he's gone. He claimed to be one with God. That's blasphemy. He said he was the Son of God. There's only one true God. God is holy and immortal, not blood, not flesh, not bone. Claiming to be God is something one true God forbids. Yeah, he's gone. Good riddance. We're better off. He didn't follow the law. He didn't follow our customs. He didn't follow us, the religious leaders. He was destroying our way of life. We're better off without him. If he would not have been destroyed, there would have been bloodshed like never before. It is better for one to die, even if he is innocent, than for the masses. Let's just say he died for you and your families. We're better off without him. Claim to be God. They said he performed miracles. Only God performs miracles. I saw him. He's no God. They nailed him to the tree. I was there. Lord, have mercy.